Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nate and welcome to my July TBR. For July, I have decided I'm going to be playing my TBR game, TBR Banquet. I said in last month's TBR video that I was going to be putting this game on pause, and then I've really missed playing it and I've decided to carry on playing it regardless. So yeah, I have made a little bit of changes though to how I play it to try and fit into the kind of mood that I'm feeling how I'm playing my game. So I will quickly go over that. If you're new, however, this is my TBR Banquet game. The idea of the game is you start, you pick a hero, there are 10 different heroes, you make your way through the banquet, picking up books that are your kind of fuel to get to the end spot, which is a dragon where your hero will take on the dragon. The different colours on the tables mean different things, different jars, different prompts, and then the big dragon book at the end. The only rule really is that the dragon book has to be read last. Any of these books can be read in any order, but you have to fuel yourself before you can get to the dragon book. Now, the way that I've decided to change this up is this was kind of a game that was working towards my book buying ban. I am still on a somewhat book buying ban. However, my book buying has actually been extremely cut down, nearly by 90%, I think, from the last 2 years. The last 2 years I've bought in total about 200 books each year. This year, so far, at this point, I've only bought 20, and I don't really see myself buying tons more throughout the rest of the year. That's what I think mainly because I have moved and don't live close to town anymore, and I don't drive. So actually getting into town to buy books isn't as easy, and I don't buy books online. I prefer to buy my books physically. So, however, I've decided to add in a little rule that each time I finish the board, I'm allowed to buy one book. I also do have a kind of book buying bingo board thing that I want to do in the future. So that will also come into play, but that's kind of the rule that's going to happen. I am also going to let myself each time that I play this basically sub out a book for a book club book if I don't manage to get the book club books on here. I read about 2 book club books a month I'm in. However, they don't always know what they're going to be at the beginning of the month. For instance, at the moment, I think the next book club is this coming weekend. So I know one book, but I don't know the other book. So if I can't get either of them on, I will let them myself sub them out for any books, regardless of if they meet the prompts, with the exception of the dragon prompt. So that is how I'm going to be tackling this game going forward. So yeah, that is the plan anyway. Without further ado, though, that's basically it. That's basically the rules. It's pretty simple. Let's jump into TBR Banquet for July 2026. So everything is all set up and shuffled. I'm going to be playing with this adorable little Donald figure today, so he can sit here on my hero spot. But before we begin, I need to pick a hero card. So the hero we will be playing with today is the Bard. Lets you pick one audio only read. Perfect for a book club if I can get it on there. So he will be the character I'll be playing with, and we will be playing, as always, with a d20. So let's go for roll number 1 for July. Is a 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is a prompt card. These again have also been shuffled. So the prompt is my name in the title. Okay, prompt number 1 was my name in the title. This simply means that my name, the letters in my name, N-A-T-E, need to be in the title somewhere. It doesn't actually have to be in the title. And I'm going to go for this Metal Slinger by Rachel Schneider. This is a book that I got from my Fairy Loot subscription when I was doing it last year. And I've been meaning to try and really work my way through them because I so far haven't had huge amounts of luck with some of my subscription books. I don't know if I'm going to like this book. And I've also missed out the sequel in terms of getting a matching sequel. So even if I do like this book, I don't know if 100% I'm going to want to keep it because I'm not going to have to get the matching sequel. So anyway, that's kind of why I want to end up reading these books. This is a romantasy book. I'm not even sure what it's about. Even though she's not one of them, Bryn has spent her life with Yalaha, a community exiled to live at sea, training to be a guard and waiting for the chance to attend the annual market hosted by the Kenta, the very same people who exiled her adopted community. Going to the market is a rite of passage eagerly anticipated by all young guards, but Bryn does not anticipate breaking a centuries-long peace treaty while there, or for an intense encounter with the enemy soldier to threaten the fragile peace between their people and everything Bryn once believed to be true. I'm not going to read anything more because it's quite a lengthy summary in there. But yeah, this is a romantasy. I know quite a lot of people liked it. I don't know if I'm going to like it, so I feel like I really want to get to it and see what I feel about it. But yeah, where have we got? N-A-T-E in the title. This will be book number 1 for July. Roll number 2 is a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that is a manga pick. Perfect. For manga pick, I'm going to put on a series that is quite a light-hearted, cute romancy series, and I would really like to actually finish it, and that is My Love Story. The art is by Arako, and the story is by Kazune Kawahara. This is a cute story about this main character who is a unlikely male love interest. He's very big, he's very burly, and he just kind of wants to find love, and he ends up in a relationship with a very cute girl, and it's very like PG-13, light-hearted, slice of lifey. They kind of get up to like antics and shenanigans that are very funny, very cute. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it so far, and I have all the volumes, so I would like to finish it. I think I'm on 7. I'm not quite sure. I need to check my Goodreads, but yeah, I think it's going to be really cute. And this is kind of what the art style in it looks like. So yeah, he's this very unlikely guy, but she really likes him, and their romance is very sweet. So yeah, I think this is really also a really cute one for July. That is the series that I will be putting off manga. There's 13 in total. It'd be lovely to be able to read the whole series in the month. I know once I start reading them, I will want to carry on. It's just one of those ones when once I stop, I tend to forget about it for a while, and then once I pick it up, I'll get back into it pretty quickly. But yeah, that's going to go on for manga pick. Let's go on to roll number 3. Is a 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and that is another prompt card, and this is the prompt of less than 250 pages. So for less than 250 pages, it's actually kind of a tricky one. A lot of my books tend to be more the 300 and 350 page mark. However, I have Gregor the Overlander. This is the first book in the Gregor series. This is by Suzanne Collins, the book series she wrote before the Hunger Games, and it tells, I think it's a middle grade, and it's about an 11-year-old boy who is living in New York and falls through the grate in his laundry room and goes into this like underground world where there are these like giant creatures. I have all 5 books. I picked them all up at a book sale, so I would really like to get to it. It also ends up working quite well for Hercule 3.0, which I will be tackling on beginning in July. I'll talk about that in another video later on, but this does work for some of the prompts for that I've kind of like scanned out, so I think it would be a good one to get to, and if I could get to the whole series in the year, they would all work. So that's kind of also the driving point. But also I kind of want to get to them to see if I actually like them. I've had them for a while now. I've never really seen anyone talk about this book either, so I don't know if anyone likes it. It's from like a very early noughties book. So if you've read the series though, do let me know what you thought of it. I kind of bought it because it was Suzanne Collins, so like I'm interested to see what her writing was like kind of before Hunger Games. Obviously I feel like this is a middle grade, so it will be slightly different. But yeah, I feel like I'm interested in seeing what it's about. So yeah, this is going to be book number 3. Roll number 4. Is a 2, a tiny roll, but that is another prompt card, and this one is a North American author. So North American author is a very wide prompt. I have a lot of options for this, though. I decided to put in Operation Bounce House. This is by Matt Dinniman, who is from Washington, and this is a standalone sci-fi, and I feel like it's supposed to be kind of like video game-esque. Matt Dinniman is the author of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, which I've never read, but it's like a lit RPG, so I feel like this has those kind of elements in it. It's about columnist Oliver Lewis ever wanted to do is run the family ranch and keep the aging fleet of intelligence agriculture bots ticking. But now the colossal Apex Corporation has been hired to commence an evacuation action, exterminate all life on this planet in preparation for a new reboot. And they charge bored Earthers for the opportunity to design their own war machines, remotely pilot them, and make it a game. It's called Operation Bounce House. Now this home planet of his is the playing field. Determined to defend the only home he's ever known, Oliver and his friends find themselves fighting for their lives against 3 of these machines. To Earth, it's a game, but Oliver, it's war. This is a gorgeous edition that I got from the Broken Binding when I was on their subscription service. But so I'd like to go again and get to this because again, if I don't like it, I can sell it and get some money back to buy more books. I do think it's a really cool cover, but yeah, I don't know much about it. I've heard some people like it. I've heard some mixed things about it, but I haven't actually read anything by Matt Dinniman, so reading his writing style will also be quite interesting to kind of give me an idea if I think I'd be interested in Dungeon Crawler Carl. So this is the 5th book I'm going to pick for North American author. On to roll number 5. Is a 16. Lovely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Another prompt card. We're getting all the prompt cards today. A crime/detective book. So for crime/detective book, I'm going to buddy up with my hero's power to choose a audio only read, and I'm going to put whatever the next book I need to read on is for my reading through the Hercule Poirot series. I actually think it might be Murder on the Orient Express. It follows Hercule Poirot, a Belgian detective. Yeah, I think this is the one that I'm on next, which I have seen the movie, the like relatively recent movie, so I kind of know what's going to happen in it, but it'll be interesting to actually read the source material. So yeah, I get these either from my library or I will use BookBeat, and this will be a nice easy read as well, especially since I've still got a bit to go. At times I've played this game before, I've ended up with an average of 6 books, so that could still happen if I get a relatively big roll, but yeah, I still have another bit of wiggle room to go, so I think, yeah, audiobook, it will be relatively short, I imagine, as well. I've been really enjoying the Poirot series, some of them more than others, but I'm hoping that I do quite like this one. It is one of the more famous in the series. So yeah, that will be the book for crime/detective. Row 6 is a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that is a pink space, which is my TBR jar. Finally, something other than a prompt. So we got the TBR jar. This has all of the books that I have bought before 2024. So all my old books are in this jar, nothing new. So let's see which one we're going to get. I haven't gone through it, so I might end up getting ones that I've already read, but let's have a look. Let's do a little bit of a dig in. We'll go for this. There's 2 there. Let's go for this one, which says, oh, Oh, what does that say? Verge. Okay. Let me grab it. Where is it? Verge, this is a book by Nadia Attia. This is a book I've never heard anyone talk about. I think I bought it at some kind of random book sale once upon a time, and it's a book that I've had for a very, very long time. In the divided land, the shadow of death draws closer. Marina has always been a rebel, foul-mouthed, light-fingered, and the last to leave the party. Unfortunately, she's also cursed, marked by death since birth. When Marina's boyfriend and her father die in a quick succession, her mother sends her north to her gran, the only healer strong enough to lift the curse before her 18th birthday. The fiercely independent Halim is employed to deliver Rowena there safely, but he has problems of his own. Estranged from his wealthy Egyptian family, he's only a few payments away from owing his truck. Yet every gun-patrolled, hard country border they cross pose a threat to his future, as do Rowena's dark visions. Can Rowena and Halim overcome their differences and forge an alliance in order to survive? Okay, that sounds quite fun. I really like the cover of this, and this was one that I had eyed up to putting on my Hercule TBR for like the kind of cover design aspect. It's really cool. I think it's going to say it looks very witchy, so hopefully I really like this because I do think the book is really pretty. If you've ever read this, let me know, because like I said, I've literally never heard anyone talk about this book, so that would be quite cool to know. Hopefully I will get to that, and hopefully I'll really like that. Hopefully our final roll at roll number 7. An 8. That's not going to get us to the end, I don't think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that is another prompt card. Oh, that's 2. For the prompt of a gem pick. Okay, this is my twin sister, Gem, who is not with me at the moment. So starting off with gem pick, Gem is my twin sister. She is at work at the moment. I have no idea what she's going to pick for me. I probably won't know before I ended up finishing this video. So this is the book, hopefully in editing, she will let me know. This is the book that she has picked for me. I genuinely have no idea kind of what kind of book it could be. So I'm interested to see what she's going to end up picking. But that's going to be the book for gem pick. So we'll go on to roll number 8. A 2. Oh my lantus. Okay. 1, 2 is another prompt card, and that is a book that I've owned for 5+ years. So for a book that I've owned for 5+ years, I am going to cheat somewhat since I'm already well over halfway through this book. However, I really want to get it finished, and that is The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien, the second book in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I have the third book coming out from my library at the end of July, so I really want to get this finished so I can jump straight into that one. I listened to the audiobooks while reading these. I've really enjoyed the kind of immersion reading of them. Andy Serkis's narration is great, and I've really enjoyed these a lot more than I thought I was. I was slightly worried that I wouldn't, because I tried to read them when I was younger, when I first got these books about 20 years ago, and really struggled with it, which I think makes sense. I am dyslexic, but I was very struggled to read then, so trying to read this kind of different very style of writing, whereas I feel like now that I've read a lot more of a variety of writing, I really enjoy this writing. I feel like it's quite dialogue heavy, a lot more than I thought it was going to be. And it's really been nice to read that and see how it's translated to the films and such. Really enjoyed my time with it. So yeah, I'd love to finish this, and then I can carry on with the Return of the King and finish the series out. 20 years in the making, the longest series that I've owned will finally be read, which is going to be a lovely thing to say, that I've actually finally read one of my favourite movie series, is I've actually finally read the books. So yeah, that is going to be slightly cheating, but that is going to be the book going on for book owned for 5+ years. And what I hope is our last roll, number 9. Oh, let's do that again. Yeah, a 13. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need to pick our dragon book, and that is a book over 600 pages, of course. And then last but not least, we finally have come to the dragon prompt, and of course I got a book for over 600 pages. However, I did make a list of my audiobooks that I had coming out from my library, and this is one that's coming out relatively soon, and that is Lodestar. This is the 5th book in the Keeper of the Lost Series City, and this is well over 600 pages. It's closer to 700 pages. However, it is a middle grade. This is a series that follows our young girl, Sophie. She is brought up in the human world. She finds out she's an elf. She goes to this kind of magic school of elves. There's this kind of big plot going on behind the scenes, and her and her friends end up getting involved in trying to figure it out. And it deals with magic and stuff, and it's quite fun. I do find Sophie as a main character relatively annoying, and I also actually find the kids in general slightly annoying. They're quite entitled in what they think they can get away with doing in this world where they are children. It's not like a world where they're treated like adults, although I will say sometimes Sophie is kind of treated like an adult. She's expected to do certain things, and then the adults kind of pull back at other times. So I do kind of get her frustration in that sense of when she's not being shared all of the information about. But yeah, anyway, that is regardless of the point. I have relatively enjoyed that series. So yeah, I can get the audiobook. The audiobook is coming out from my library, so that will help me get through this book. It does need to be the book that I read last in the month though, so I do need to read all of those others first. But I actually think I'm pretty positive that I can get it done and get it read. So I'm looking forward to that. And I am looking forward to carrying on with it, since it has been a while since I read the last one. I might do a little refresh, but I think for the most part, I remember everything that's going on in this series. Yeah, Sophie is also definitely someone that is kind of, I guess, a Mary Jane character. That's not right the term. A Mary Sue character. She is very special. She has all these abilities. She has all these powers. She can magically do things like when they're at like the crux of a moment where something needs to happen, she can suddenly do it. It's, you know, very typical in that sense. It is a middle grade book, so it is aimed for a younger audience, but like it's she's very special in every single way possible. And yeah, she's a little bit annoying, but I have enjoyed what I've read so far of the series and I do want to carry on with it. I really like reading these kind of like, especially because it's quite a big world in middle grade. I really like reading middle grade series, I think, as opposed to reading like middle grade standalones. I really like kind of the world expansion. So I'm interested to see where this goes on and where this story takes us. So I ended up with 8 books in this of my first game back in a while. I don't own 2 of them. 2 of them are the one that my sister has picked for me, as well as I think it's Murder on the Orient Express, the next in the Poirot series. So yeah, I have, let's hold this up. Metal Slinger, The My Love Story, Gregor the Overlander, Operation Bounce House, Verge, The Two Towers, and Lodestar, The Keeper of the Lost Series, Volume 5. The Keeper of the Lost Series, The Keeper of the Lost Cities, Volume 5. So those are the books that I will be hopefully reading in July, not January. The only other book that I didn't manage to get on, which might end up subbing out one of these books, is my friend book club book, and that is Butter. This, I don't know if you can't remember the author of this, but this is a Japanese translated fiction. It's, I think, crimey. It's got a crime element in it. I think it's about a chef serial killer and a journalist. This one needs to be read relatively soon. I'm just going to listen to this audiobook on BookBeat, so this will definitely be getting read. But yeah, if I get to the end of the month and I've only read 8 of these books and I can sub it in, I will sub it in when I feel like it needs to, especially because I can only read my dragon book last. So if I've read 6 books and that one, I will then probably just go straight to the dragon book, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, that is something new though that I'm going to do. However, there are other things that I wanted to talk about. So first of all, books coming out or books available from my library. At the moment, I have 2 current loans out, which I have not started. I have Good Girl Bad Bud by Holly Jackson. That's currently available to me. I think I've got another 20 days to listen to that. And then I also have the book The Legend of Viking Thunder. This is the 2nd book in a middle grade series. Really interesting series about a young guy that basically figures out he can musically open doors to different time periods. In the first book, they went back to ancient Egypt. I'm assuming this one they're going back to the Vikings. I don't 100% love the audiobook narrator for this. I did start listening to the 2nd book and I kind of remembered that I didn't love the audiobook narrator. So I'm going to give it a chance. And if I'm really not enjoying his narration, I feel like he's too old for the character and he made the main character sound really whiny. So if I'm not loving it, I might be one that I end up physically owning and buying the physical books and trying reading down the line. But I'm going to give the audiobook another go. So then I have 4 books actually that are also coming out to me in July. On the 7th of the 7th, Lodestar by Sarah Sharon Messenger, so that's good. On the 9th of the 7th, The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. On the 19th of the 7th, I have The Last Wish of Bristol Keats. This is the 2nd and final book in this duology. I didn't actually really like the first book. I don't think it was very good, if I'm completely honest with you. However, the ending left it open enough that I was intrigued to want to carry on with it, but only for free, because I can get it from my library. I was like, I will listen to it. I listened to the first one as well, but like, if I had to physically pay for this book, I wouldn't. And I would not physically want to read it with my eyes, because I feel like, yeah, I wouldn't want to put that much time into it, because I just didn't actually think the first book was that good, if I'm honest with you. Which is my first thing that I've ever read by Mary E. Pearson, and I have got, I think, ebooks or some of her other books, so it was a bit of a shame. However, I've heard, I think, from other people that they didn't think this is as good as her other books. So I'm at least going to want to finish out the duology and see how it ends, because I was intrigued enough. And then finally, on the 29th of the 7th, I have The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. So those are the books that are coming throughout the month from my library. Hopefully I get to all of them. Obviously, you get about 40 days once you have the book. So like, some of these will definitely go into August. I won't get to all of them. Lastly, however, Herkyed 3.0 is happening, which is the hardest reading challenge you will ever do. I miserably failed on Herkyed 2.0. I'm going to make a video talking about number 3 and kind of my rough estimation of what I want to read for them. However, for this one, it is a bit more pared back. You can do a very small version, which is going to be my starting point, my starting goal, and then I'm going to try and expand and hit a bingo blackout for the rest of the board. Basically, I need to try and fit every single book that I read. I need to try and make fit for Herkyed if I can, if I wanted to try and actually get a blackout on the board. So I am going to make a video talking about that. Some of these books do definitely fit. I've already got them planned out for where they're going to work for Herkyed. I will be making future Herkyed plans, because I got the journal. I bought the journal. Q brought out my journal, which is going to keep me accountable, because it has all of the pages in, and it has a bingo board, and it has places where you can write down what you're thinking you're going to read. You can, as a bare minimum, do 1 book for each square, and that could be it. That is the first goal that I'm going to try and hit, but I am also then going to try and hit a blackout on every single goal. Basically last year there was one that was a monthly thing, and the moment I failed that, I gave up the whole game. So I'm not going to try and do that this year. However, yeah, I'm going to make a separate video talking about Hercule, since I want to go into detail a bit more about some of the books that I'm hoping to put on, although they're not always going to be set in stone. It's going to be quite flexible as I go throughout the month. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for being with me while I ping pong back to playing my TBR game after being like, I'm not going to play it every month. Yeah, I got massive FOMO and I missed playing it. So yeah, let me know what you guys are reading in July. If you've read any of the books that I've mentioned here and you liked them or you didn't like them, I'd love to know. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you again hopefully soon. Bye guys.